to Austin, man. Cause we Austin, Texas, marching, stepping, hands on our weapons, cause boys be flexing. Daily in the game like a pin 'em off the chain. These boys are hard to tame, can't do nothing love it, man. Cause we Austin, Texas, marching, stepping, hands on our weapons, cause boys be flexing. Daily in the game like a pin 'em off the chain. The boys are hard to tame, can't do nothing love it, man. Well, I be flousing while they lousing and them boys gon' hate. Some boys be popping truck, but I be popping tailgate. The trophy truck, sit no book, I'm about to get me.
This is Albert Redeaux, a.k.a. Mad Creole, for the Austin Icon Podcast. Today's guest, man, this is one of them interviews right here. This is going to be a fun one. But today's guest is one of the hardest working men in hip-hop. He's a rapper, Austin hip-hop pioneer. He recently teamed up with Texas native, Grammy Award-winning Charlie Boy. He has his own business, The Smoke Connection, in Austin. You gotta definitely put your hands together for CasinoATX. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on, man? We live, but well, not live. I'm recording this, but guess what? I done came out to his spot, man, and I am impressed. Just the man business, man. He's got cameras and all kind of stuff, event centers, and dude, I mean, I'm sitting here just like, oh my God. It's incredible. I mean, the business is incredible, man. That's so cool.
Hey, I appreciate it. Wanna make one correction. So I am the day-to-day operations manager here.
Gotcha.
And as we open more stores, basically I'm the regional manager.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right? So we have a wonderful benefactor.
Okay.
Who you'll get to meet one day.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a lot of sister businesses all connected with this.
Gotcha.
Now, the businesses that I own and co-own are the Stash Spot Studio.
Okay.
That's with my good friend Chef Greasy.
Okay.
And then I own Gas Bags, which is a marijuana distribution company.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Dude, you the hardest working dude. I swear to God, I'm like, okay, I see him over here, I see him over there, I see him doing it. Then the advertisements is coming up and everything. I'm like, what the hell? How the hell he got all this shit going on at the same time? This is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, and that's the main thing about Austin itself, just all the artists and all the people that are here, just how hard we grind and how hard we work. And that's why we're going to start this off, man. Where are you from originally? Where were you born and raised? And
okay.
You know, and that way we can start from there.
I was born in Houston.
Okay.
But I left really early. I think my mom and I came to Austin when I was 3 or 4.
Okay.
So I pretty much grew up here.
Okay, cool.
But so my grandparents lived on the north side.
Okay.
Over by Lanier.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So I spent a lot of time in North Austin.
Okay.
But my mother and I lived in Northeast Austin.
Okay.
So I went to Wynn Elementary.
Oh, yeah.
I went to
my school.
Your school?
Yeah. Hey. Old school.
Let's see, I went to Andrews.
Okay.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. My mother is a journalist by trade.
Okay.
And this is where the writing came from.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in the 4th grade,
okay,
she moved back to Houston.
Oh.
And got established.
Oh, okay.
So then I moved back to Houston in the 5th grade.
Oh, okay.
And we lived in Southside Houston.
Oh, A-Leaf?
No, Ridgegate.
Okay.
Yeah, right outside of Mo City.
Gotcha.
So I actually started middle school in Houston.
Okay.
And I went to Missouri City Middle School.
Gotcha.
From there, we just started moving.
Oh, man.
So I've lived all over Texas.
Okay.
Like Odessa, Corpus Christi.
Damn.
Back to Austin.
Okay.
Then we moved to California.
Oh, now you just done all the way out.
Yeah. So I was
part of California?
Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah. I actually I started high school here in Austin.
Okay.
I went to Old Johnston.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I didn't hear no more.
Yeah. What's it called now? East Side.
I don't know, East Side High, East Side something. I don't know. I really don't keep up with it. I'm a Jaguar. We still living. We still here, baby.
Right. Yeah. Your school is still there. But yeah, I left in like 9th grade. We moved to Sacramento.
Okay.
We were in Sacramento maybe a year and a half,
Okay.
and then we came back to Austin.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then I started going to Reagan.
Oh, okay. Cool. You went to my rival school. All right.
Your rival, yeah.
That's okay. LBJ and Reagan. We it's weird because most of the people that are here from Austin, I keep saying that. I know there's of course other schools that are here, but those two schools just seem to produce a lot of just major people here in the city.
Definitely, as far as Black Austin is concerned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just we can count it from football and basketball all the way to the arts. When you get into music, production, DJs. I mean, it's just like that is the two schools that pretty much probably will rack up most of the talent, and then you have other schools that join in. You know, not to knock some of you guys. I know y'all gonna be like, yeah. You know, I'm a Jaguar. I can't help it, man.
No.
We always gonna poke at y'all just for the hell of it.
Absolutely. I'd say if you did anything and you were out of the class from the 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s, you came out at LBJ or Reagan.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think I'm trying to think if there's any. I don't know too many other people that didn't, you know, except for some of my artists later on in the 90s that came from like Travis and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I dealt with everybody from all over the city. So, but other than that, like you said, it's kind of, that's what it was and that's what it is. But, all right, so then once you got out of high school, or you was getting ready to get out of high school, you know, was your family into music already? Was it a musical family, or you the only one that did music?
Not at all.
Okay.
As far as my immediate family, nobody did music.
Okay.
They were writers.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So my mother's a writer. One of my aunts is a writer.
Okay.
I have another aunt who should have been a writer.
Gotcha.
And then one of my other aunts started as a writer, but got into education.
Okay.
So she taught other people to write.
Gotcha.
So there wasn't a lot of music, but there was a lot of writers.
Gotcha.
The music came from actually my grandma.
Oh, okay.
Way earlier in the story. Like a lot of black people from a certain age.
Oh, yeah.
My grandma was like, you going to church?
Going to church. I knew that was gonna go.
And you're going to do something at the church.
At the church. That's right. Y'all know what we talking about. Don't even act like you don't know.
Heck yeah.
It's what it is, man. You going to church, you going to be there.
And you're going to do something.
And you're going to do something in the church. We're not listening to all that other stuff. I want to hear none of it. None of it.
So, at my younger years, the options were, you could be an usher.
Right.
You could be in the choir.
There you go.
Or, I forgot what the third one was. And actually, audio visual.
Okay.
And I should have got into that.
Yeah, that probably would have been the.
Yeah, but at the time, it just, I don't know, it didn't interest me.
Yeah,
I tried being an usher.
Right.
That's too much standing now.
Oh.
You know, I was like, nah, I'm good. So I guess I'm going to be in the choir.
Right.
I don't think I'm the best singer, but what it introduced me to was instruments.
Right. Okay.
And so my grandmother put me in guitar lessons and piano lessons when I was really young.
Okay.
Like 7 or 8.
See, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I started playing instruments. By the time I got to high school, I was playing the drums.
Okay.
So loved the drums.
Gotcha.
And that was really my introduction to music.
Okay. Cool.
When I moved back to Austin and I was going to Reagan, I think I was in the 10th grade, I met Nook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he was the introduction to being a rapper.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the connection. Shout out to Nook. So that's the connection. So then, once you graduated, and say, or you got a little older, what was the next move or the next set?
So I'd been doing music with Nook all my junior year, all my senior year of high school.
Okay. Did he have Jump On It yet? I can't remember. He started Jump On It.
Jump On It started when we were seniors.
Gotcha.
So we were still in school doing that.
Right.
So funny enough, this segues into what I'm about to tell you next. So we did Jump On It my summer right before I went to college.
Okay.
I wasn't going to go to college.
So I wasn't going to go to college.
I think I started telling you a little bit of this. So I had left my mom's house. I got a job.
Okay.
I had my own apartment, like 18 years old. And this is that summer we did the first Jump On It.
Gotcha.
So me and Nook could tell you some stories.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I was at the first Jump On It, actually.
So you remember?
Yeah. It was in the park. I think it was in Gibbons. Yeah, we was one of the artists that came. We brought our whole company. We was one of the first ones to actually do Jump On It because I wanted to support him. He was a little kid, and I remember him coming in. His mom brought him in, and he was.
Yeah.
I had never seen so much talent in my life. I mean, he could rap, he could write. His show was, even as a child, his show was sick. I mean, he was animated, and his lyrics was just really. At that time, he was all about the movement because Miss Turner was here, Miss Dorothy Turner, she was here, and so she really impacted him. So he was like, man, this dude was on a whole different spectrum. He was like a grown man being a little kid. He was just way out there, man. So I can definitely, Jump On It was awesome. Just the idea of it, knowing how it started, it's crazy.
He gave me the impression of a young preacher.
Yeah, there you go.
Like the conviction in his words.
That's right.
Like you said, his performance ability was light years ahead of his age.
Yeah, definitely.
And I want to share a story because it's affected me to this day.
Okay.
And this is why he performs at such a top-notch level. And this is, I could say, out of all my time with them, this was the number one thing that I learned that has helped me through my whole music career. So we were kids. We used to go in his front yard, and we did performance drills.
Oh, yeah.
So he had this full-length body mirror.
Okay.
And we would take turns holding the mirror. So if I'm holding the mirror in front of you, you would have to do one of your verses.
Gotcha.
And then I would move the mirror around, and your job is to stay in front of the mirror.
Okay.
And what that taught us was how to rap to a camera.
Right.
We were doing this at like 16. That was one of the best drills I still use to this day.
Yes.
Mirror drills.
Yes.
We used to run around the block and rap.
Yeah. Air.
Diaphragm control.
Oh, yeah.
And his mom would tell us, when y'all get to the other side of the block, I need to hear you as clearly as if you were in front of the house.
Man, that's old school.
Man,
that sounds like some shit I was doing when I was a kid.
Hey, yeah.
Ooh,
so
drills.
Yeah, and we're doing all of these different types of performance drills at 16, maybe even like 15 years old.
Okay.
So when my time ended there, I could rap circles on a stage.
Yeah.
Around anybody.
Right. Because you just had the right training. That's the difference.
Yeah.
That's totally different. That's a lot of people don't understand that. Young people, listen.
Yeah.
Pay attention. It's real. When you're doing shows, I think people don't realize that it's cool to do the go in the studio and record and all that good stuff. But now, you want me to pay $15, $25 and you stand on stage, not move, make me sing the song. If I don't know the song, let's just say you get into a hostile situation where nobody know you, and you opening for a major act, and now you up there by yourself. Can you rock the crowd? If it's only 5 people out there, can you rock the crowd?
Can you make them get into you?
That's right. Can you do that? Are you able to raise your level? And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. Because now you may turn, let's say you got 50 people in the crowd just because you're the opener and the main act haven't got there yet. Those 50 people see you and go, oh my God, you are awesome. You just created fans. Now they'll follow you. They'll check on you. They want to see you more and more and more. And I think that's been lost a lot.
I've gotten most of my diehard fans, like the people that have really followed me over the years, from doing the small shows where it might be 20, 25 people if you're lucky.
That's right.
But those were the people that were like you just said, man, you put on a show. How do I see your next show?
That's right. And
you get little pockets of people like that.
That's all you need.
And over time, it builds.
And they're not just regular fans. These are like diehard.
Yeah.
Because you were there. You did something for them. They didn't feel like they were gypped. And back in the day, some of the main acts, especially when I was touring, they were kind of, they didn't get paid their money, or they didn't get paid all their money. Instead of them doing a whole 45-minute to an hour show, they cut it down to about 20 minutes. They come out, hey, okay, I did my 2 songs, I'm out. Mm-hmm. Now, the opening act or the act that's sitting there, they gone. Crowd is pissed. Can you go back up? Shit, yeah. I got material. I'm ready to go. Mm-hmm. You the only thing standing between that business and a riot.
In many cases.
I mean, I've done that maybe I don't know how many times. Just, and it piss off the main act. Hey, man, you didn't want to go. Don't be pissed off at me. You know what I mean? I'm like, hell, hey, you either come behind me or in front of me, you're going to get drugged.
The worst one I personally was involved with, the main act showed up.
Okay.
But I think the promoter, who I won't name, didn't have the rest of their money.
Right.
So everyone saw them show up, and then everybody saw them leave.
Hell yeah.
You talk about some mad people.
Woo!
We couldn't save that one. It was like, all right, let's.
No, sometimes you just got to back out. You got to run. You just got to get the hell out of it. I mean, now. I mean, you don't even mess around with it.
I don't think we had ever took our DJ's equipment down so fast.
I remember getting a call from a friend of mine. I don't remember what show it was. I want to say, I can't remember. But they were downtown, and they had DJs down there and everything. And the promoter didn't give, I don't know who it was, didn't give them their money. So the main act dipped. Whole club got tore up. The whole club. So they calling me because the dude's equipment got stolen and his board got stolen. I don't know why he had his board out there.
This story sounds very familiar.
Yeah, and I got a call late at night.
Was this the Master P show?
It might have been Master P. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, it was Master P.
Okay.
And I got a call, man, late. I'm talking about like 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2 o'clock. Say, man, all my stuff gone. And like, oh, my God.
Oh,
man.
yeah. That's the Master P show.
I said, oh, my God, man, what happened, man? I'm making calls. I'm trying to give people stuff back. It's just crazy. It was wild, man. I mean, it was hell.
It was on 6th Street.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the club.
Yeah.
But they had threw the cash register out the front window.
Tore that place apart. Stole all the equipment. Everything.
Because after that incident, he did Bad About It too.
Yeah.
And at the end, he was like, Austin, you know they bad it.
Yeah, they tore that over.
I remember
But
that.
I mean, it was what it was. That was early Master P. That was like Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was when he was coming. Like, man, he was starting to drop album after album.
That was, I know the first Bout It was out.
Yeah.
But that was really like the ascension of them on a large level.
Yeah, and that was crazy. But I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So then, now, after Jump On It or
Yeah.
after Nook?
So, my mom talked me into applying for college, right?
Okay.
And I had done pretty well on the SATs.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, because my school grades were so bad, because I didn't apply myself.
Right.
I was out,
Yeah.
running the streets.
Yeah, that was what. Hey,
Right.
a lot of us were.
Yeah. So I ended up getting accepted into U of H.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So now I'm back in Houston.
Okay.
I was staying with my uncle back in my own neighborhood. And in those years, a lot of those guys had blown up into rappers.
Right.
Now, mind you, I hadn't been around them since like elementary, early junior high.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know these guys as their rap names.
You know them as
As-
regular people.
Yeah, Calvin lived over around the corner.
Right.
So when I moved back to the neighborhood, a lot of guys had started doing music.
Mm-hmm.
Next door to my uncle was that boy Grace
Gotcha.
from Screwed Up Clique.
Yeah. Rest in heaven.
Yeah.
That boy.
So here I am, moved to Houston,
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be in school. And I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
But I lived next door to a really well-known local rapper.
Mm-hmm.
He remembers me as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling him, oh, man, back in Austin, we're doing all this music.
Right.
He starts introducing me to people.
Gotcha.
School took a back seat.
Well, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, mama.
I told you to go do it. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do, Bob?
So I start meeting a whole bunch of different people.
Mhm.
And I don't think I was real good, especially looking back. Or at least I don't think I was good to my standards that I have today.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
But one thing I was always good at was networking
Mm-hmm.
and being real personable, know how to meet people.
Gotcha.
So I'm meeting tons of people. And like I said, my skill level wasn't quite where I think it should have been. I think if I had been better, I might have been able to be on some of those records or projects.
Yeah.
But a lot of them didn't know me. And I was really bit at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when I really started focusing on getting better with my raps.
Gotcha.
But because now I'm failing school,
Yeah. Well, now that's a whole nother issue, huh?
yeah. So my mom's like, well, we're not going to, keep funding
Funding
you
money. Yeah.
going to school, and you're not going to school. So my other aunt at this time, she's living in California,
Okay.
and she's a professor at San Francisco University,
Okay.
and she's teaching journalism. So she's like, well, why don't you come up here, establish residency, and then you can start going to school where
Okay.
I'm at,
Right.
and it'll practically be free.
Gotcha.
So boom, I moved to California again, and now I'm in the Bay Area.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the Bay.
But if you know the Bay Area, way more music going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to all everybody.
Man.
Turf Talk. What's up, man? Shout out to
Yeah.
all them brothers out there, man.
And we're talking late 90s.
Yeah.
So E40 was already popping.
Yeah.
Mac Mall, Drew Down, the Loonies,
Yeah.
Sibo out of Sacramento.
That's right.
I mean, I could go on and on. So this huge activity of music is going on. And there you go.
Oh man.
So now I'm out here running around doing music there and working.
Okay.
And now I'm not in school, so I'm really out running around doing stuff.
Shit, you almost took a Master P detour.
in a way.
Yeah, it's almost it's Master P like.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget when he really started going. He was in Richmond.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I spent about a year up there. A death in the family is what brought me back to Texas.
Okay.
So when I came back, I briefly worked with Nook. And no shot at him. But depending on the type of person you are, your trajectory may not be to be number 2.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's not a shot. You just, like you say, you grow. Everybody starts to, to grow.
And with what they were doing, Nook was the number 1.
That's right. Yeah.
And as should have been.
Yeah.
Because that was their thing.
That's correct. Yeah.
So it was time for me to find my own path.
Right.
Yeah, took me a little bit, but I started trying to do my own thing. So this is like about 2000 now.
Okay. And then from 2000, were you still here in Austin?
Yeah.
Starting to build?
Yeah. All right, here's a small tidbit. Not many people know.
Okay.
I very briefly had a rap rock band.
Okay. All right. That's awesome.
The band was called Mr. Bozak.
Okay. Mr. Bozak.
I don't even remember how that came as the name, but anyway.
Hey, it's catchy though. It's catchy.
So, I was the rapper frontman.
Okay.
And then we had a bass player, guitar, drummer, and a keyboard player.
Okay.
And we started doing shows, but it introduced me to a whole nother crowd of Austin.
Right.
Because before that, I'm Northeast Side kid.
Yeah.
Rapping with Nook on the East Side.
Right.
So we're mostly doing, rap and black shows.
Correct.
Through this, I started meeting a whole nother group of people.
Definitely.
So these were going to be like some of my first times meeting MC Overlord.
Right. Rest in peace to him.
Rest in peace to Overlord.
Yeah.
Started meeting a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Who were actually playing.
Yeah. They had bands. They were
yeah.
Playing. Yeah. And I can't think of my brother, man, from another mother. Bass player. He just passed too, maybe about a year ago. I'll think of him in a minute. And I know I hate that I can't remember his name, but I'll think of him in a minute. But yeah, you talking about all the bands. You think of all the bands and yeah, man, that was one of them times where you had a lot of, like you had the rappers mixing in with the bands, and man, it was lucrative too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And those were the first times I ever got paid for shows.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know Nook got paid for some gigs, and I don't want to sound like, they never gave me nothing. But that was the first time I got paid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. You gigging.
Yeah. So those are some great experiences. The band lasted a little over a year.
Okay.
But if you know anything about bands, it's just like rap groups. Hard to keep them together.
I couldn't stand being in bands. But yeah, go ahead.
You get it.
I hated it. I ain't gonna lie. I hated it. It was the worst experience in life. I'm serious as hell. I just couldn't do it. I did that as a kid all the way up, and like you said, it's the lack of control, and I was with a lot of older guys. So I'm 11 and they're like 30 something. So I mean, so the drummer gets drunk. We playing, we in blues and in bands and stuff. He's drunk outside or high, whatever the hell he is. And so I got to learn I know how to put his drum sets together. So I'm playing drums now. So now I'm playing drums and singing while we have the guitar players and my cousin and everybody. So then when the check is cut, when we go get the money from the bar, okay, where's the money? It's like, why is he still getting paid? And I'm only getting paid but he didn't play that night.
Right.
Well, he's got bills and he's got kids and he's got, you're a teenager and or you're 11 or 12, however it was at that time. And that went on, and you get older and older, you start going, okay, dude, I'm not going to keep setting up your shit, playing your shit or playing the bass and whatever, and I'm doing all this work, setting up everybody's shit, and I'm not getting paid. I hate bands. And you really have to be together. All of you have to kind of work together. And that's hard. If you got one person who want to be there, then it messes up everything. It's just, it sucks.
Oh yeah, and never been in a band since. I've been in rap groups,
Me either.
which have the same amount of headaches, but the one difference, if a rapper don't show up for his set, I just cut his verse out.
That's right. You can bypass.
Yeah. Whereas the band, if the bass player doesn't show up,
you done.
Then we can't have a show.
No, and the club is not gonna pay you.
Exactly.
Straight up, they not gonna. Where's the bass player at? I don't. Oh man, can you get a bass player? Now you gotta go call some random dude out of the blue. He don't even know you. You don't know him, and here you playing bass, and you sound like crap because he don't know the songs. It's just that shit just irritates the hell out of me.
Oh man. So clearly you see why I wasn't in another band again, and why I didn't last that long.
Yeah, no.
It's a lot of.
Cool. Now it's cool. Don't get it twisted. It's the coolest thing in the world to have, like, especially if you're a rapper. For me, I'm a musician and a singer, but for a rapper, oh man, that's got to be the control to be able to stop the music and solos, and you can even take a break almost. You can sit down for a second or even move off stage and let the guitar dude and everybody move. And then that's awesome. It's just a lot of moving parts.
I will say there's still no better feeling like performing with a band.
Yeah, definitely.
And so what's different for me now is when I perform with a band, I've paid them. Right. So I get to kind of lead it. Yeah. Because I paid you.
Correct. So it's not, it's kind of it's not, you're not like, oh, we got to all be together. Right. Especially recording. That's the hard part.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to record as a group that's where I fell out. I could play any instrument. So I was like, why? Well, it would irritate me. I'm like, dude, play this. Because we went to record. I was like 13. We in a studio, and I'm like, I'm hearing the bass, and I'm like, that ain't right. Play it like this. So I have to grab his bass, and he goes, oh, okay. So now he's trying to play it, but then the drummer, no, he's a jazz drummer. I don't want the jazz. I want. Yeah. So he's trying to do that. Now I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. And it's not sounding the way in my head that it needs to sound. And that just doesn't work when you have a band like that. It has to be together. Everybody has to gel together when you're recording.
Well, so you already had that. I call that the producer mind. Yes. And that's why, and if you study like the really greats, they probably played 80 to 90% of the instruments.
That's correct.
On the stuff that was done in the studio.
That's correct.
And then they just needed somebody to be able to go on the road emulate that in performances.
There you go. Yep. That was the goal. Yep. Immediately. That was the goal. Once you get started that way, you kind of, once I really realized, okay, I can play all these people's parts. Why am I, driving myself insane? But that happened even in high school. Got in high school, had a band, and we used to tour all the high schools and do all that stuff. Me and John Robinson, Doug Mathis, and Pat Love, and he was on drums, and we used to all tour. We toured all the schools, all the middle schools and everything. So we was doing that while I'm on tour doing, the big stuff, and then come back and do that. And that would irritate me only because, again, we can't record. Right. I love the sound of the group because we had 4 singers, and and so we were all, like New Edition almost. We did all the moves and all that stuff, and so it was cool. But the band again was the problem. Not getting that sound that we needed. Pat was awesome. It's just everybody was awesome individually. Just couldn't get the sound the way we needed it to record. And we didn't have equipment either. We were young. So like you said, that band thing is
bands are tough.
Bring back old memories.
I have a lot of respect for people that can keep bands together for years
Hell
and
yeah.
years.
Hell yeah.
Because that's a level of compromise and just
Man.
adulting. I don't think I really hit till later in life.
Right, right.
So,
yeah.
hats off to him.
Yeah, shit. I give them all love in the world, man, because that's a daunting task.
Oh yeah, yeah, big time.
So now after your bands,
Okay, so here's where really the real story of Casino really starts to come about.
and were you Casino at that time?
Yeah,
Okay, so you always
Yeah.
had the name.
I guess I started going by Casino pretty early. I guess around like 96, 97.
Okay, gotcha.
But so now at this point I'd already started having kids. So I probably had 3 kids at this point.
Okay.
I had kids real young. So I remember I got this job. I had a little bit of money. So I was like, well, I got like 2 songs that all by myself, and I own the beats. So I was going to go record these 2 songs.
Okay.
This is my first time recording on my own. So before that, everything I did was with Nook and them. After that was me being in this band.
Gotcha.
So, what was the name of the place? Living Room Studios.
Living room.
You remember that
Shout
place?
out to living room. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of time in there.
Used to be off Airport.
Right there on 45th Street, or close, or like you going to 45th
Yeah.
Street. Yeah.
So there's 2 reasons I remember this so vividly. It was my first time doing my own recording. It was the first time I met Smackola.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Smack.
Shout out Smack. His session was ending as mine was getting ready to begin.
Gotcha.
So when I came in, they were doing like just a playback. He had already recorded or whatever. And I'm listening and it's just like, oh man, this dude's it. So then it made me feel like, oh, I'm in the right studio.
Right.
So, I record these songs, get the mix back. I have no idea what to do with it. Like, none.
Just
No
zero.
idea.
Oh, man.
So, I started this new job. So, I'm at work. This dude is sitting next to me. And he's got this huge CD booklet. Right?
Okay.
So there's a reason I'm mentioning this. It was a data entry job. So we just sat there and typed, but we could listen to music. So I got some CDs. He's got this huge booklet. So that's how we started talking.
Okay.
Hey, man, I saw you had such and such album. Mind if I listen to it today?
Gotcha.
So we started trading CDs. I accidentally gave him the CD with my 2 songs on it.
Okay.
So he had borrowed a couple. So he listened to it at some point during the day. So we're outside on lunch break. And he's like, man, you gave me this blank CD with these 2 songs on it.
Okay.
So my initial thought was, oh man, I didn't mean to give him that.
Right.
And, maybe he didn't like it or whatever. I don't know. Before I could say anything, he was like, man, that shit went on. Who was that?
Okay.
So I was like, well, that's me. He's like, what? He became my right-hand man. And not just that, but pushed me to step out of my comfort zone. And this is what I mean. I wasn't scared to get on stage or anything like that, but I'd never really done it on my own.
Gotcha. Yeah, the full thing. Production, recording, you got the whole thing done by yourself.
Right. Or even trying to put my own stuff out.
Right.
he was such a just go, go, go.
Positive.
Man, you could do it.
Yeah.
It gave me the spark to get out there and start doing that. So, me and him, John, that's his name. We're running around now, and we just start meeting people. And some of the people we meet, they attach to us.
Okay.
So next thing I know, we had a group of like 6. No, the original demo, it was 5 of us.
Okay.
Me, John, Jen Gotti, a guy named Big E, and then a guy named Syndrome.
Okay.
He goes by Pope Sinatra now.
Okay.
We were the original Black Hands.
Okay.
So we don't really know what we're doing, but we're just let's get some stuff done.
Yeah, let's get it.
We recorded demo.
Still in the living room.
No, it was at a whole nother studio now.
Oh, okay, okay. So now you
Someplace way out south.
Okay.
Like Convict Hill, which is
not sure where.
far south.
Okay.
290 West.
Oh wow.
Out that way.
Okay.
We had met some guys at one of us worked with the guy, and they had a band.
Okay.
And they recorded at the spot out there.
Okay.
And they gave us free studio time.
Oh well.
So,
and that's
you
why
know,
we going way the hell out there then.
Yeah. So we mobbed up.
Yeah, definitely. We going way out there. 'Cause, studio time used to cost.
Oh man.
People. I know now you can just put a laptop down, but studio time used to it used to run $100 an hour, and
absolutely
it was just horrendous.
and it was a, especially like when we started, because we're talking like you might have had a limited amount of tracks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we brought a beat actually mixed out, we have to take all that time mixing that.
Correct.
And then consolidate that
down to your
to a good left right.
Yeah, to 2-track and be ready to rock.
Right.
Yeah. So y'all had to do the whole thing. Yeah, y'all had the spread. Everything was spread out, which I would call nowadays I can't think, not links, but when you spread all your music out, so you can, back in the day we would spread it all out like you do when you use Pro Tools, so people that don't know.
Yeah.
And then you would mix it. You'd separate it out. We had ADATs and all that kind of mess. And so we would separate all the kick and the snare and all that. And they're called stems now, but back then they weren't stems. They were just individually tracked out instruments, and you had to track them out literally one at a time, unless you had one of the little ports that you could send out more than one instrument, which a lot of people didn't have.
Especially like late 90s, early 2000s.
That's right.
Unless you had bread.
Yeah, real bread. And then you had to really spend most of your money tracking out. That was the time, to be honest. That was most of your rapping or singing take you about 30 minutes if you had everything down. You really knew what you were doing, but at tracking, ooh shit. Yeah. That take you hours.
Time consuming.
Yes.
I remember, just kind of as a segue, when we got our first MPC, oh man, we were blown away that you could I could drop 8 tracks at one time.
I know, that's right. It has outputs.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Right.
No more hour sessions. Now I can. And just, boom. Oh my god, man.
Because before that, recording was not fun.
I remember EPSs. We used to do that. Oh my god, we used to go to Houston, and them dudes, man, we had to track them to the ADATs, and they would put the little sync tone on there, and we had to do. Oh god, that shit was just. It took hours.
It's very time consuming.
Ooh. And then you might not get, one track might be wrong. It'd be off just a little bit.
Gotta rerun it all.
Oh god damn, I hate them days.
Yeah.
Really hate them days.
And I'm glad I was at the tail end of that, so I didn't have to deal with it very long.
Right.
But enough where it left a stamp in my brain.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, so Black Hands. It started with 5 of us.
Okay.
We had our little demo. One of the guys in the group lived in, I forgot the name of the apartments, but they're right there off of Decker, right across from the Expo Center.
What, Lakeside?
Well,
Lakeside?
it's in Lakeside, but
Okay.
those big apartments
Right.
that are right there. So one of the guys lived there. And one night he calls me, and he's like, "Man, I met this dude. I'm at his house right now. He's got beats out the ass.
Okay.
You need to come over here and meet him." Bet. So I come over, and we were introduced to Goldfingers.
Got you. Yeah, shout out to
Ace
Goldfingers.
Goldfingers.
Oh, man. I ain't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah. Now, I feel I was a lot better at rapping, but my main skill, and probably to this day, was I was great at writing hooks.
Okay.
Because while I don't think I was a good singer, spending all that time playing instruments, singing in the choir,
Right. You had the.
I had an ear for melodies.
Got you.
So I could write really good melodic hooks.
Okay. Cool.
So that night, I must have came up with something to every beat he played. And we were there for a couple of hours.
Okay.
And he was like, "Man, you guys are dope." Because I would come up with a hook, and then the camp would rip the verses to shreds.
Gotcha.
Man, I want to work with y'all.
Okay.
So now Ace is part of Black Hands.
All right.
And then from there, it's just like we grew. I couldn't even tell you how some of the people joined up with us. Next thing I know, we got Stick One.
Mm-hmm.
He's singing in the group.
Yeah.
TEE,
Yeah.
he joined up with us. B-Dub, who later became Gutta
Yeah.
from AAE,
That's right.
he was with us.
Okay.
Oh, man. There were so many people that were attached, but the core group, now we had expanded to about 8 people. And so...
Yeah, because I remember you guys. I remember we did shows, and I'd pop in to make sure my axe was somewhere.
Yeah.
And you would be shit. I thought we would be. We had a pretty big crew, so you guys matched that intensity because y'all had
Yeah.
8, 9, 10 people, and y'all would show up with a whole crowd of people.
Exactly.
It wasn't like it was different. Like you say, y'all would show up. It'd be a crowd of people that show up with you.
Right.
And come to watch the performance. And,
Yep.
and I loved that. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then y'all would get up and leave, and then the crowd would leave with you too.
Yeah, we had that bad habit.
I remember that for a fact. I remember that, and I'm like, half the crowd left, and then we had our crowd. Y'all have y'all crowd, and then some of the acts that were there, like you said, they may not have had that many people. You know, they may have 1 or 2 artists or whatever, and they didn't have a lot of people. So when we all show up, you talking and a couple of other companies that had a lot of people.
Right.
The whole club be packed. Y'all leave, half the club gone. We get done, half club gone.
Yeah, the other half
now
gone.
you have what, 2 people?
Yeah.
That club on the pissed off everybody,
man.
But that's how it was back then.
That's
man.
how it was. Now, I did learn later to not do that.
Right.
But yeah, definitely, there was some years there where we did that a lot.
I had to show my artists, don't do that. That's just rude, man. You don't do
Yeah.
that. Stay for the whole show, man.
Yeah, stay for the show. Oh, okay. Totally side note. And I hope I don't make these guys mad.
Oh.
But I got to tell this story because it goes with that. Here's how I learned to not do that. You never know where you're going to be placed on a show.
That's right.
Right? So, Black Hands, the same group. Okay, maybe I won't say all the names involved, but I'll say this. We were opening up for Mr. Servon.
Okay. Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Shout out to Mr. That's another name I hadn't heard in a long time.
Yeah. So whatever that hit song he had at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it was popping.
Yeah.
So we had gotten on the show to open up for him.
Okay.
There was some sort of disagreement over which opening acts would go first or last.
Gotcha.
So
Which is always the problem.
it's always a problem. So for any aspiring rappers or up and coming, listen to this story because there's two things hopefully you'll learn that I learned. All right. So, of course, we're very cocky. And we're like, man, we're one of the best groups here. We need to go on right before Mr. Servon,
Right.
right? When the full crowd is there.
Right.
This is our thinking. And other groups are saying the same thing.
Correct.
But in particular, there was this one group they were notoriously known for making bad music.
Okay.
They did not make good music.
Okay. Yeah, we might not want to name them.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go into that.
That's funny. Okay.
But
they
and
made
if I-
bad music. So
yeah, and so everybody was like, we're not going on after them
Right.
because
gonna
they suck,
They taking the air out the building. Yeah.
right? So here's the two things I learned. So the acts start going on. One group who brought a lot of people, they were a Hispanic group,
Okay.
brought a whole bunch of people,
Okay.
a lot of support. Because of that whole interaction the opening acts had, when they got done, they leave.
Ooh.
So about a third of the club goes with them.
Right.
Dang. All right. Well, still a nice size amount of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was maybe 300
Mm-hmm.
people or so after they left. Before that, though, it was around 500.
Right.
Right. All right. Show goes on. We ain't tripping. Still a nice sized crowd. The act that everybody thought was bad goes on.
Okay.
And in true fashion,
Okay.
it was bad. But it was so bad, it drove people out
Oh.
and they did not come back.
Oh. It took all the air out of the building for real.
So what was several hundred people turned to the people that came with us that wanted to really support us because
Right.
some of them left.
Oh.
And then people that were diehard Mr. Servon fans
Right.
and the fan of the group that also went on, because there was two groups after the bad group.
Right.
Us and these other guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mr. Servon.
Mm-hmm.
So the second lesson I learned is, if there's a crowd, perform.
That's right. Get in there and just jump in. Don't
Go.
get that damn line up. Grab it while you can.
Power.
Mm-hmm.
See, people think of just think power as a positive.
Right.
There's a negative
Yes.
feed,
Yes.
and that's just as powerful, right?
Yes.
There's the power to attract,
That's right.
and there's the power to disperse.
And that's something that I used to try to teach my artists. Because they, like you said, they get stuck on some of them. Not all of them. They would get stuck on, I got to open for the main act.
Mm-hmm.
And they got that that was an old school rule. It wasn't something that, I guess later on, it should have been phased out.
Sure.
But back in the day, that was what it was. It was, you open for the main act, that means you're on the bill. That means you are just as hot as the dude, whoever it is, or the lady that's going, the main act. And then it's a possibility that you could end up going with them too on
Right.
tour. And that was the whole goal, that the promoters would see you, and it was a whole thing. So you would fight on the road. What's missing in that whole situation is we're on the road. When I was a kid, we were on the road. Even later, we're on the road. So we're battling on the road, basically. Every city we get to, if I did better or if I'm getting, when I first started singing and doing that and you know, by myself and I had my band and everything, if I was really starting to move up, then they would move me up in the lineup. And that's more money.
Yeah.
And then you get more attention. And you're not there when just the 3 or 4 people come in, you know, just buying their tickets. That's what that comes from. But the problem, like when you saying it, see, in that time frame, I'm telling my artists, look, dude, the main act, yes, people may be coming to see the main act, but people come early to the show. And that's something that I think people weren't really thinking about. People coming to drink, because these are at clubs. These are not like, you know, like back in the day, you're in bars or you're out in the country somewhere.
Right.
These are clubs now. They got DJs. So there's DJ. The club opens hell early. So everybody's coming to the damn club.
Exactly.
So it's full. Why not perform now? Why are you waiting till 2 o'clock in the morning? I mean, it kind of doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And the other thing that we started to learn during all of that is know where you're performing.
Right.
Right?
That's right.
We're performing on 6th Street. You know how many options there are?
Yeah, there's a million.
So it was a lot of lessons, music lessons,
Definitely
learned in my time with Black Hands.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also the first time where I was really put in a leadership position.
Yeah.
So, you know, I became the leader of it. And what ended up happening was, that's when and we were talking about this off camera, you start finding yourself wearing all the hats.
Right.
So I was the band leader. Mm-hmm. Then I was the business guy.
Right.
So I had to teach everybody about publishing.
Yeah.
What publishing even is.
Right.
You know.
That's fun.
Here, you got to sign up for this.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm not going to say before the internet, but before it was what it is today.
It wasn't easy like it is now. To you had to do that on paper.
Exactly.
And then mail it in.
You got to mail it in. You got to wait a couple weeks for this to come back.
Get your cards and all that.
Did you get your card?
Yeah.
Now I need your card with that number.
And not everybody wanted to get their damn cards, which didn't make sense.
And then most of us was in the streets.
Right.
Half my guys didn't have their own address. Stuff was still being mailed to their mama house.
Right.
Or big mama house. Did Big Mama get your mail?
Right. Did you turn it in? Did you even fill it out to get it sent? That's the problem. Did you fill the damn thing out?
So like half the group got published and half the group don't.
Oh Lord.
We out here trying to put out albums.
Trust me, I know that.
You know the story.
That's sick. That's sick. I still got people today. I would make them do that. I had artists. I would make them. They young. Mm-hmm. Okay, fill out your paperwork. Da da da. But like you said, I don't know if you took it and mailed it. We're talking 20, 30 years later. Mm-hmm. We got music out. It's now generating publishing.
Exactly.
Hey man, I don't know if I did my publishing. Dude, do you know that's been 30 years? What is wrong with you? You lost your mind?
Have you had somebody hit you up from like 10 years or more?
Oh yeah.
And they're like, you got some money for me for that song?
Yeah, man.
No,
it's not. Dude, you are supposed to be collecting your own money. Where is your publishing at? No, trust me, I've got publishing going to, because you know when you do, people don't know. I'm ASCAP, so if you go in to a publishing to log in a song or to put a song in, you have to put in all the writers. If that's you crooked motherfucker, but you put in your writers and you put in your composers and everybody. Sometimes, like in my case, I had a lot of artists, so I didn't know.
You were running a label.
Yeah, so I didn't know their first, last name, middle name, forever. I may have knew it at the beginning when they signed, but I didn't remember like later years. So I'm like, oh, okay, this must be that person. So their publishing is literally going to someone else because I'm thinking that's their person because that's that person's name. And then finding out later, oh, I never did my publishing. So you never did your publishing? Dude, do you know there's somebody out there that got your name that's actually getting paid for your money?
Very well so.
And you can't do anything about it. You lose your publishing, you lose it. If you don't sign up for it, you can't get what you got, whatever it was, 20 years ago. Nope. You get from right now.
Yep.
And that sucks.
It'll only go back 2 years?
2 years, something like that.
Something like that.
And that ain't, man. And you're not gonna win, man. I mean, and then you got to go back and get the publishing from whatever song it is, and you got to, like you said, some of them checks may have been in the 90s, they're like $10 or something. Or, I think Cass had me going on his. He said, "How much was your first check?" And I looked, I said, "Man," I was embarrassed. I said, "Well, he said, mine was 10. I said, "Really? Yours was 10?" I said, "Good, yeah, mine was about $10 too." I sure wasn't gonna tell him at first, like, yeah, it was $10.
I think my first publishing check was like $8 and some change.
Yeah, it's a little video about it. So I never did think about it, to be honest. It wasn't a make or break thing, because I'm making money off CD sales, and
sure.
Back then, that was the distributors and stuff.
Yeah.
Or just straight hand-to-hand sales. I wasn't thinking about publishing. But again, we weren't doing that kind of volume on radio and movies and stuff like that. And we didn't have YouTube, and we didn't have all that crap we have now.
It was my experiences with Black Hands that made me take publishing seriously, because when Black Hands split, mm-hmm. we had a huge argument over who owned certain things and publishing.
Ooh-wee.
So from there, I was a real stickler about it moving forward.
Were you writing? I know you said you was doing the hooks and most of that. But who was doing? Was the music just?
So, the first rendition of Black Hands, I wrote most of the hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Syndrome wrote a good amount of hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Goldfingers did maybe 90% of the production.
Gotcha.
So the conflict we had was, well, I did all the beats.
Right. And that's 100%.
So I can resell these if I want to. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is where I started learning about the various aspects of publishing.
Right.
So, okay, I don't just need to publish my lyrics. I need to publish the whole song, all of these things together.
Correct.
In order for things like that to not happen.
Correct.
Do I have a contract stating that this can't be sold or leased to anybody else?
Right.
Because that's what ended up happening.
Yeah.
And no, we're cool now.
Mm-hmm.
But it caused a big rift in our business.
You would still get your portion. Well, you would get, even if because if it's a song, then it's still, you would get your portion, but you're only getting, if you just wrote a hook, depending on you and the other writers, how y'all saw it,
right?
You would only be getting either half with the other writer, and y'all would be splitting that 100, 50-50.
Exactly.
But he would be getting the full 100 on the composer side.
For the beat.
Right. And so he's kind of able to get paid a little bit more off of anything but y'all also should get paid for anything if it's the song.
Right. And not only that, the real conflict was, remind you, this is before BeatStar pages and all of this stuff. Where people were leasing a beat to multiple people.
Got you. Oh,
so
I got you. Yeah.
For you to be somewhere rapping on a beat, and then this other group raps on the same beat, that caused a fight.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah, like, the fuck y'all get that beat from?
I know that's some cold shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's messed up.
So that's what we were dealing with, because he felt like, when the rift happened, he's like, well, these are my beats,
right?
And I could do whatever I want with my beats, and whether you agree ethically,
it's still, you got to pay the writers. I mean, if it's part of a song, if it's published. If it's published, then everybody got to get paid, no matter how you looking at it. If you sell that beat, then you still got to go drop some money to the other people.
So we had only published the stuff we released.
Got you.
We had a slew of songs we were performing for planned releases.
Oh, okay.
And when the rift happened,
Then all those songs got. I got you. Yeah, and there was
So-
no split sheets and nothing
Yep.
to identify. Oh,
There you
okay,
go.
got you. So he just took his beats and started moving with it, and y'all
Yeah.
moving with the other side. Oh man, yeah, that's got to be hell right there.
Mhm.
That's not cool. That's not
So-
cool at all.
it caused some problems between us for quite some
Yeah.
time.
But that's business. That's how you learn
is.
how to do business. You know.
Yeah. And I look back now, and while at the time, I remember just being so, mad and frustrated and everything else. I'm glad I went through it. And in particular, I'm glad I went through it with those people
Right.
because we did have a genuine love and care for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Had it just been some random folks,
Right.
that could have went really bad.
Yeah, definitely.
The fact that we had love for each other kept it from going into anything violent.
Yeah.
But had it just been some random people,
Yeah.
now
that's
we'd
some
have
gangster
clicked
shit.
up and
Yeah, that's gangster
there's
shit.
some problems.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do in that.
Yeah.
As money is money.
Because if I'm being honest, and I'm sure on their side too,
Yeah, definitely. No.
he had people in his ear like, man, F Casino and them.
Yeah.
We see them, we should rough them up.
Yeah.
Because I had it on my side.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the way it was back then.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was part of a lot of those. And fights and arguments and shootouts and everything else. Just, it was business, but you dealing back then, a lot of people don't realize 90s was more of a street era.
Yeah.
A lot of dope money, a lot of people out in the streets, neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
It depends on where you from, who you clicked up with, like you were saying, Northeast Austin, we had our little people, and then you got the East Side, and you got all these other different little cliques, and then it just depends on who you running with. Things can get out of hand real quick, real quick.
I remember people being like, "Oh, don't do shows in South Austin."
Yeah.
Or at least don't let them know where you from if you're out there doing the show.
Yeah. Dove Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they heard the same thing about coming up our way.
Definitely.
So, all right, well, let me speed up a little bit because we're talking 25 years doing music. All right, so Black Hands splits in half.
Right.
Syndrome. And I don't even remember how this happened. But we just kind of accepted it. During Black Hands, he had also joined another group.
Okay.
Cool. Nobody had a problem with it. Because most of the guys in the other group, we already knew.
Right.
And so this is going to connect to one of your old artists.
Okay.
So this group of guys had started their own little clique right around when I was graduating.
Mm-hmm.
So while I knew them, I wasn't a part of it.
Okay.
And that was PVC.
Yeah. Oh, Pervert
Chop.
Click. Big Chop. What's up, man? The Pervert Click.
Yeah.
It's my dude.
So Syndrome was already loosely affiliated with all of them.
Yeah.
Through Din, Twin,
Right.
and a lot of them.
That's right.
So the other group that Syndrome had joined was an offshoot of PVC
Mm-hmm.
called Gutta Gang.
That's right.
So, like I said, I knew some of them,
Mm-hmm.
and I was being introduced to a lot more of them around this time.
Okay.
So when Black Hands split in half, Syndrome started bringing Gutta Gang around a whole lot,
Mm-hmm.
and the groups merged together,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and it became. At first, it was because I was trying to establish a solo thing.
Mm-hmm.
So at first, it was Casino and Gutta Gang
Right.
as two separate entities.
Mm-hmm.
We did so many shows together, people just were like Gutta Gang.
Right.
So, fuck
That's
it, we
what it-
ran with it.
Right.
Gutta Gang, probably my biggest musical success in terms of numbers, finances, and that came about in that time, and that was Game Time.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So I had started through Goldfingers. I started producing, started making beats, and then I started meeting a whole bunch of people, other producers, and they would teach me things that they knew. So by 2005, I was producing as much as I was rapping.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I had made the beat for Game Time, and I was trying to sell it for months.
Okay.
And you probably understand this. You ever make something and just all the hairs, you get the goosebumps, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's how I felt when I'd finished making that beat.
Yeah, you know you had
I
something.
knew I had something. I even almost sold that beat to Dougie D,
Oh really?
Zero's little brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Dougie.
We got that close.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember why I didn't go through. It's a long time ago. But for whatever reason, they didn't buy the beat. Nobody else offered me the money I felt it was worth.
Right.
Right? So I was like, okay. We playing the beat at the house one day, and my buddy John, he just sitting there, he bobbing his head. He's like, man, yeah, that's badass. Because if you remember the beat, I had sampled the Monday Night Football theme,
Right.
and chopped it up in it. And so he just kept saying, yeah, it's game time.
Right.
Like, say that again. Boom. Started writing up the hook, right? Oh, shit. That's live.
Yeah, that was a hell of a song too.
Right? As we're finishing the hook, because I don't know if other people do this, when I'm in the studio, I still might have a TV or something on.
Yeah.
It's muted, but it's on. This was when Ricky Williams had gotten booted for smoking weed.
Oh yeah.
So that flashed on the screen. I think he was going to be interviewed on 60 Minutes or something. And we saw that and we was like, man, that must have been some good ass weed. Make you quit a $1 million job.
Yeah, it had to be.
And so we were like, yeah, that's that Ricky Williams.
Right.
And that's how the dance
became okay.
and everything else became associated with it.
'Cause that was hot. That was a hot ass song.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a hot ass song. That song was dope. Because man, it hit. And when it hit, it hit.
Man. So here's a story probably only the guys in Gutter Gang know. Maybe a few other people. We put the song out, right? And my old manager at the time, Glenn, shout out to Glenn. He had they had pressed up like 500 CDs
Okay.
because we had a CD burner.
All right.
So we sat there all night
Just
burning
them up.
CDs, right? And it was the Kappa Beach Party that weekend,
Ooh, Kappa Beach Party.
right? So we go down to the beach party. We got 500 CDs. There's 4 songs on it. 2 of my songs, 2 of Gutter Gang songs.
Gotcha.
And Gutter Gang at the time, they did have this song that was doing really good called Trying to Have a Good Time.
Okay.
But they did it over one of Little John's beats.
Okay.
So it was mixtape track.
It was a mixtape track, yeah.
People love that song though. So we go to the beach party. Our DJ, he set up on the seawall, right in front of the store. It was a tattoo parlor, and he just started spinning. Every 5 songs, he would play Game Time and Trying to Have a Good Time.
There you go.
So we're standing out there, and as people are walking by, CD or a flyer. And then we have bottled water and towels.
Right.
So
hustling.
yeah,
Gotta bring it back.
We left, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock that night.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even back in Austin when we're getting phone calls because we put our phone number on the CD. And people are like, yo, man, these songs go hard. That Game Time song, how do you do the dance?
Got you.
So we knew we had something.
Right.
I get arrested and go to jail the Monday after the Cafe Beach party.
Ooh, timing.
I was in jail like 2-3 months. 2 months. The guys are still running around doing their thing, right? I'm in jail. I get out. The song was everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what they did during that time.
They was running around all over the goddamn place. That's what they was doing.
I know they were performing Good Time.
Yeah.
But they, and I love these guys to this very day for this. They could have easily
just stopped.
Been like, well, take Game Time off these CDs.
Yeah, that's right.
And just push the record with those of us that are out, right? They could have easily done that.
Right.
Especially when you take into account these camps had just merged.
Right. So it's not a real, just strong bond. It's still, like I said, it's
it was
two
still
different
new.
people. Yeah.
It was still new with some of them.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. So when I came out, I literally came out to, okay, we got a show here. We got a show here.
Right.
We got a show on this day.
Y'all moving. Mm-hmm.
I came out to doing 3 to 4 shows a week.
That's right. Gut Gang was hot. People that don't know, that was a movement. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was off the meter.
Yeah. We in one calendar year, from when I got out to a year later, we did 260 something shows.
Jeez.
In that year.
Yeah, that's full tour.
Yeah. We were everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Some of my best experiences with music is in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then also some of the most frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Because groups of people are hard to keep together.
That's right.
And I can say that there was definitely a time period in there where I was probably smelling myself a little too hard. It happens.
That's life. That's the way it goes.
And then when you factor in a lot of alcohol and drugs.
Yeah. Then you just.
Yeah.
Yeah, your mindset just, I'm it.
You ever used to watch that show, Behind the Music?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we had our own Behind the Music story and just didn't get to the big part.
Didn't get to do
it. To the global fame.
So now, after you get with Gutter Gang,
mm-hmm.
and now we are going to fast forward a little bit and get into the, let's say, close to here, close to now. Close to now.
All right, so I'll give you an abridged version, short version. Gutter Gang lasted a little over 2 years. Funny enough, Gutter Gang split in half.
Okay.
So one half went on to become LOP.
Okay.
So I went through another group.
Gotcha.
Nice sized group.
Mm-hmm.
Now when LOP disbanded, I actually moved.
Okay.
I moved to San Antonio.
Okay.
I was in San Antonio for a little bit. Kind of regrouped. So when I came back to Austin,
okay,
I was solo.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I told myself, even if I'm attached to a group or whatever, I'm always going to maintain my solo.
Your name.
Persona.
Identity. Yeah, your identity. Yeah, you want to keep your identity for marketing purposes, money purposes, publishing purposes.
Absolutely.
All that. Because now, by that time, like you told me earlier off camera, like you really wanted to do video and
Yeah.
filmmaking, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Into that.
that's what I initially went to school
Yeah.
for.
So you really starting to get into that mold of, wait a minute, I can do all this. Hell,
Yeah.
I'm already producing. I'm rapping. So I'm
Mhm.
doing the lyrics and I'm writing, doing the hooks. Which now we move in full circle to where now I can do the video part of it too. Hell, shit.
Yeah, and so from here, we're talking like we're now in like 2011.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know, just the floodgates opened, and I went on a writing frenzy,
Mm-hmm.
and I did like 6 or 7 mixtapes in that
Okay.
from like mid 2010 to no, I did 8 mixtapes from end of 2010 to beginning of 2013.
Okay.
So in just about 2 years, went on this big mixtape run,
Okay.
and I was building up to an album.
Okay.
Um, Live from Partyville.
Okay.
So that was the album I did. I had a couple of small hits, nothing as big as Game Time,
Mm-hmm.
but I had some like really good records on there that did well.
Gotcha.
This one record in particular that I did with Anastasia.
Yeah. One of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite artists now. I swear to God. Man,
Oh, yeah.
Girl's bad.
She's
Man,
a beast.
Love the band and oh my God. Like I said, it's Dank, Erica, Misdemeanor, and Anastasia. Them are my 3. You know, man, that girl can spit.
Oh yeah. A lot of people especially sleep on Anastasia.
Man.
I don't think they really realize all of what she can really do.
Correct.
She is an amazing artist. But I had a song with her called Drop,
Okay.
and that took off.
Okay.
So we were getting a lot of play in like Georgia, Florida, along the Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, back going.
Right.
I started collecting a group of people, and while we were a group in name,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was solo artists.
Okay.
So what we would do, pool our resources together. So if there was a really big show,
Mm-hmm.
and feel how you feel about pay to play,
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have a strategy, picking the right shows, it can be helpful.
Yeah, it can be. So now,
So, oh yeah, so the group of people, everybody started. We were the fraternity,
uh-huh.
but everybody started knowing us as Frat House Gang.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's really where I cut my teeth with business,
Okay.
because I can say this: everybody had their stuff,
Okay.
because we made it. We had weekly meetings.
Gotcha.
We had business meetings.
Now we're getting back to the business end. Okay.
So it was really like, okay, we're not just going to talk about this stuff. We got to make sure everybody's got their stuff.
That's right.
Because now we're releasing stuff on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
We're dropping videos. We're putting stuff online.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys make money from this?
Right.
How do you properly buy merch and know how to flip it?
That's right. Right.
And at the very least, make your money back.
That's correct.
So we started really getting into, like serious business practices.
Correct.
And yeah, that's what we did.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny, especially looking back now. About midway through it, I was doing so much business.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I'm gonna stop rapping.
Okay.
So I started to plan a retirement.
Right.
Right. I even had my final album.
Mm-hmm.
Right. In the middle of doing all of that, I went through a really big breakup, and one of my kids passed away.
Oh man. Oof. Sorry to hear that, man. That's hate to hear that.
Oh man, and completely took all the wind out of my sails.
Oh man.
I put that album out, but it was such a lackluster drop.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I had nothing left
Right.
at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not just talking about going through a breakup and not having money.
Right.
But in the middle of this,
Yeah.
you lose a kid.
Yeah. That's. Mm.
So I had nothing.
Yeah.
And I went and got a job. And for about 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
I just went to work.
Yeah.
Didn't do any music,
Mm-hmm.
like none.
Right.
You know, over the years, I picked up different certificates and stuff
Mm-hmm.
here and there,
Yeah.
right? So within 2 years of working at this place, now I'm on the management staff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm really just focused on, like, I had a corporate job,
Mm-hmm.
you know, making almost 80 grand a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was doing. Just go to work.
Go to work, make your money.
Yeah. Go home.
Yeah.
My buddy Casanova, he was like, hey, let's do this little podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were just talking about, you know, like nerd stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Reviewing comic book movies and stuff like that, you know, all the
Right.
Marvel movies. So I was doing that. And then my other homie, Chef, and that boy Super, they were like, man, you're doing that. You want to get back into music? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But through those conversations, started coming and hanging out. Me and Super hanging out in Chef's studio,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going through all of these beats. And it was almost like that experience with Goldfingers all over again.
Right.
We're sitting there and, hey, I got an idea for that one. Got an idea for that one.
It just came
All
back.
right, got an idea for that one.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Wondering if it'll come back.
Right.
Do you still have it?
Now, in the middle of this, I started going to therapy, trying to deal with the stuff
That's good.
with the loss of my son.
That's real good.
And so the therapist was like, well, what do you do to release tension, emotions, and all of that? Right? And he was like, something constructive.
Right.
Because before that, I'm sure I had developed a drinking problem through all of my years of clubbing and just
Mm-hmm.
being out all of the time. So when my son passed, I started my journey into stopping drinking.
Mm-hmm.
I still smoked. I'm probably never going to stop that.
Mm.
But I stopped drinking. And I
Right.
stopped doing, like, harder drugs.
Right.
So now you're just left with dealing with your real emotions.
Yeah, man.
And so the therapist was like, so you got to find some other kind of outlet
That's right.
that isn't self-destructive.
That's correct. Because you will find another outlet, and it may not be a good outlet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, so you had to have been doing something all these years that was an outlet. So I was like, well, writing.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, okay. He said, but I said, you know, I just don't have nothing to write about,
Right.
you know. So he said, write about your son.
Right.
It took me 7 or 8 months to write that song.
Mm.
But when I finished it, it kind of lined up with me going to the studio with
Gotcha.
Chef and Super.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the combination of that and finishing the song opened my brain back up to it.
Gotcha.
So now it's 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Super are whipping out. Okay, we know what we're going to do. We're going to do an EP together.
Right,
It's
right.
going to help us both get back into music.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more so doing it just to see, do I still got it,
Right.
right? And we made, while it wasn't my best-selling project,
Mm.
and there's a reason, to me, it's definitely in the top 3 of anything I've ever done.
Okay.
And we did an EP called Afrofuturistic.
Yeah.
COVID hit.
Mm.
So this is why we weren't able to push the album the way I wanted to.
Right.
But with COVID and that, it forced me to relearn how people are absorbing music today.
That's right.
Right?
It's a whole new ball game.
Yeah. I mean, music changes probably every year and a half to 2 years.
That's right.
I was out of the game for 5.
Right.
There's a lot of changes while I was out.
A lot.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So from 2015 to 2020, I hadn't put anything out.
Right.
So here it is. All right, I'm trying to gear up to push this album out.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I know is you go get in people's faces at the clubs and all of this.
That's right.
COVID hits.
Yeah,
I can't get in nobody's face.
I can't do none of that.
So how do I get in people's faces?
Right. Now, internet.
Mm-hmm. So this is where I really started to. I mean, we've all been using the internet.
Yeah, but not. Yeah,
from a business standpoint.
That's right.
So I started. I decided, okay, I still want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So while working on solo stuff,
mm-hmm.
I would take these online courses.
Okay.
The first one I paid for was how to utilize YouTube. Right. So I focused real hard on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that kicked off my old love of visual media. Because it was like, okay, well, what I've always been known for is be a good performer.
Right.
So I got to bring the show to your phone.
That's right.
So focused on making a lot of music videos. Really creating content I could put in somebody's face.
Correct.
To attract them to come see all the rest of this.
Right.
And so from there, the music, in many ways, in my mind, it became commercials.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's the right way to, it's definitely the right perspective of it.
And so the funniest thing came from that, because a lot of people hit me up and they ask me, how do you make money from your music? I make commercials.
Right.
No, literally.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, make commercials. That's how you make money.
I would reach out to people. Do you have an intro for your show?
That's right. There you go.
I'll make the intro for your show. Here's my ask. I keep my publishing. Right? We're going to sign something to where you could use it for free on your show.
That's right.
But I can release it.
That's right.
On all these other streaming services.
That's awesome.
Right? So now you have this show that comes on, and 2 minutes of your show every week is my song.
That's right.
Oh, shoot.
Hey, get that sync, baby. Get that sync money.
Well, how much might this be worth to somebody else?
Right.
Hey, I'll make you an intro for $150.
Yeah. Because you're going to get money on the back end, and you get money on the front end.
It'll be an original production.
That's right.
So you don't have to worry about somebody else having this.
Right. The content will get to go. The ID's not going to catch you and all that good mess. That's there you go.
Started building my business team. They started bringing bigger opportunities.
Right.
And this is how we start getting into the cannabis business.
Okay.
I've always smoked weed. Well, maybe not always, but for a very long time.
Yeah.
Done a lot of other things with weed.
Shit, why not?
So,
why not make money off it?
I have knowledge of it.
Right.
There's this huge growing business.
Yes.
I want in.
Right.
How do we get into that? Oh, my marketing guy. Shout out to Dominican J. Oh, well, shoot, I know these guys in Oregon.
Right.
Matter of fact, you might know one of them. He used to do this show in Houston.
Gotcha.
Oh, shit. Reconnects me with Optimo Ram.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing all of this stuff now out in Oregon.
Okay.
Do a deal with them. So now, I'm not just another rapper.
Right.
Now I'm a rapper bringing this company and commercials from this company and
That's
all
right.
of this other stuff.
Yeah.
In the midst of all of this, as I'm trying to educate myself on how to do music digitally,
Mm-hmm.
I meet Big Mike and Jason the Professor from College of Hip Hop Knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all got a distro deal that's connected to Sony.
Right.
How's that deal work?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Oh, you'll give me a deal and I still own my own stuff?
Shit, that's awesome.
And y'all will, through your distro network, put it out with these people? Where do I sign?
There you go. That's real. That's a real deal.
That's a real deal.
Yeah.
So now I have backing for my music,
Mm-hmm.
and I have the ability to make money doing these other things on the side.
That's right.
And because they're a fair label, they're not dipping into my other stuff.
Right. They're letting you grow, and they're letting you be your own artist and make your money, which is all artists ever wanted.
Exactly. So now here we are. I'm almost 5 years back doing music.
Mm-hmm.
And from a business and financial standpoint, I'm making way more money through music ventures or music
Entertainment.
related ventures.
Yeah. Like the whole scope of it, which
Yeah.
is, you got to be diversified in order to get money nowadays. You really do.
Absolutely. And what's the best part about it for me is, for the most part, I'd say 65% of my income comes from me doing some entertainment stuff.
Right.
Whether it's writing articles,
Mm-hmm.
setting up deals for the production team,
Right.
setting up stuff at our studio,
Mm-hmm.
ghostwriting for other people,
Right. Right.
or my own releases.
Gotcha.
And even working here,
Mm-hmm.
all of this came about through out and about doing music ventures.
And then
And it connects you with other business.
I'm gonna jump in two things that I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you about. Two, one, since we gotta go there because I wanna shout him out. You know, Charlie Boy. I wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely tell him, congratulations, man.
Hell yeah.
We all here in Texas are just so proud of you, and I'm happy that you got that, man. I'm just ecstatic that it couldn't have happened to somebody any better, and that's awesome.
He's a real good guy.
Yeah, he is. And so, and how'd you get with Charlie, and had that come about? That's the first one.
All right, so here's what's funny. I've actually known Charlie Boy a long time.
Mm.
I first met Charlie Boy in the Gutter Gang days
Yeah.
because, and I'll make this quick, a lot of people, especially the new rappers,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know if it's they don't do their homework
Right.
or if it's that we don't celebrate Austin enough.
Right.
But Austin has had many movements.
Many gigantic movements.
Exactly. So when you were saying Gutter Gang was a movement, we weren't the only
That's right.
thing moving.
That's right.
It's like cylinders in.
From 2006 to about 2008,
Mm-hmm.
it was Gutter Gang, Basswood Lane,
That's right.
Carnival Beats,
That's right.
What It Do Family,
That's right.
Dollars and Cents.
That's right.
It was a
It
whole
was a bunch.
mess of stuff going on.
Too much to count.
So, during that time, Rapper Rick and them had the What It Do family.
Yeah.
We were
Shout out
crossing
Rick.
paths a lot,
Mm-hmm.
doing a lot of shows together.
Yeah.
So those were how I initially met Charlie Boy and Magno,
Got you. Okay.
and got real cool with them.
Cool.
So me and Charlie have been on a. I mean, I ain't gonna be like, oh, that's my best friend.
Right.
But we've been familiar with each other for years.
Yeah, definitely.
So you fast forward to, just the end of this last year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm expanding, so I want to do more records that have the ability to really catch hold and do some commercial numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like, who can we get? I had the hook. I got all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a dope singer
Mm-hmm.
that that we can get on this? Hey, Charlie Boy just re-released that Thick Fine Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll do it.
Yeah.
Cool. We reached out, got in touch with his manager.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing I give Charlie, as cool as you are,
Mm-hmm.
you got to talk to Brian. So,
Hey, business.
yeah, business. So we linked in with Brian.
Mm-hmm.
We worked out the deal. Boom, sent him the record. He loved it. He liked it so much. He did, because he was supposed to just do the hook.
Okay.
Send us a verse.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Right? So we're like, okay, shoot, love the verse. Updated the paperwork. Boom. And now we got the song. And from there, man, everything was super easy because he's an easy guy to work with.
Yeah. See, and that's the wonderful thing when you have artists that just do the business. Man, knock out stuff and get it done. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now all you got to do is worry about the record.
Yeah.
And pushing the record. You ain't worried about all this extra craziness that you got to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
The song turned out awesome.
Thank you, man. And it's been doing really good.
Mm-hmm.
We've been applying all the tricks we've learned over the years to it.
Mm-hmm.
We focus on a lot of college radio.
Yeah.
And then we focus on online marketing.
Yeah.
So
and I will shout out because you did that. You sent out a whole email blast to people to help them with the college radio.
Yeah.
Because I even got an email or something to that effect, and I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, because I had that like decades ago when they had the books and all that crap. I had all those radio stations, and I still have them. I still know a lot of those people, but again, a lot of those people have gotten older and they moved out. A lot of people I know are either executives or either they're retired.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
COVID put a lot of people out of the music business.
A lot of people just retired. And then the last thing I was going to ask you about is the big thing, which is South by, which everybody knows all over the world, which is South by Southwest here in Austin. And I know we was online chatting and going back and forth with different artists, and I'm trying to. That's my thing now. I'm more of a diplomat. I'm still in music, but I'm retired. But I guess people use me as a more of a conduit, because I guess I'm a lot of different worlds. I'm from the original pioneers back then with Cass and them when I was real little. I met him when I was about 11, and so I was back then. But then I'm actually around you guys, and then I'm with Nook and all that, and even the 90s back with Sam Houston Boys and back with the Houston artists when they first got started. So now it's like the new artists, the young guys, they hit me up because they see that I'm here, I'm accessible, so they're like, hey, why can't we do this and why can't we do that? And I'm like, I come from a different era, man. My era was you had to get out and do things. You couldn't, you can't. I don't know. I never would get on and ask somebody something. I would, I had to come outside, and go meet up with people, go meet Cass, and go meet these folks. And hey, man, what you doing? And how are you doing it? So I'm trying to get them to understand that it's not just, it's different, and they don't get it. Some of them do, some of them don't. I think I reached a couple of them to let them understand that. Look, you see all these people, the Nooks and yourself, and Mick and Jay, and you got all these people who are in the game now. They're in it. They're not just on the sidelines. They're just not sitting over there. They're in it. They have shows. They have opportunities for you to learn. You can come and ask any of these dudes. I know if you walk up to them and say, hey, man, how do I do a music video? Or how do I do this? They're not going to shut you out. But
No.
it's your issue that you don't want to come off this computer. You don't want to come out of your room.
Right.
You want them to come and serve you to do something, and that's not going to happen.
So it's a catch-22. And I'll say this. All right. So you're right. There's only so much you can do just on the computer, just at the studio, just at your house.
That's right.
There's only so much you can do. Now, that's if you want to be in the music business.
Right.
Right? I don't think a lot of them understand that part of it.
No.
Because if you just want to be known,
right,
or if you want to be in the social media business.
That's right. There you go. You could be on
then
computer,
that's different.
phone. You can do that all day.
Exactly. And what I think for guys like you and myself and the generation we're from, that's been a hard line to see.
Yeah.
Because as social media grew in our time, we just used it as a tool.
Right.
In that time, it's become its own business.
Correct.
So for these young kids, they're looking at us like, catch up, old man.
Right.
Because I make all my money over here.
Correct.
And to them, that's the business.
Right.
So going back to like what I said, for them, music is a commercial.
Correct.
Or it's a lure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the jingle.
But there you go.
And it's the jingle to come look at all of this other stuff
That's
I'm
right.
over here doing.
That's right.
So I don't knock them.
No.
Because I have an understanding of it.
Correct.
And so for me, and you'll notice on a lot of my posts, when I'm speaking specifically to musicians, I'm usually saying like rap cats, rappers, this, that, or the other.
Right.
And maybe I need to expand that a little bit more, because I'm not talking about the people that are just doing social media.
Right, right.
You got your lane.
Yeah, stay in it.
Go for it.
Yeah, stay in it.
They're not the people tripping about coming to South by Southwest.
Right.
Or you know, anything business-like.
True.
Those are going to be the folks that come to South by Southwest. Or honestly, I should say they come to Austin.
Right.
And they spend their whole time outside in the crowd doing their social media shtick.
Correct.
What frustrates me is the actual people wanting to do the art and business of music.
Correct.
And thinking it's just going to be the social media tactics that's going to get them on.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
That'll get you some attention.
It will.
But it's not going to sustain your long-term career.
Again, because that's not, and that's where I was trying to get them to kind of understand that, yes, and I apologize to a couple of them, because a lot of them were like, yeah, but you won't da-da-da-da, and yeah, you know, and I'm like, dude, I'm retired. I mean, you know, yeah, I still do music here and there. I get my checks, you know, but I'm a veteran. Hell, I'm retired. Hell, I'm sitting at home with my kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know everybody, but I got connections. And the only reason why I have them is because I was in the business for so long.
Right.
But I'm not that dude that you can just call up or, you know, hey, can you get me in the game? No, I can't do that. And you know why I can't get you in the game? Because nobody got me in the game. I don't know how to do that. I'm not built like that. My thing is the people that are, and that's the only thing I wanted them to understand. Austin, like you said, and this is the reason why I did the podcast. I got tired of this little weird narrative, which I don't know where that came from. I'm not exactly sure how this started. I've been hearing it and hearing it and hearing it, and I was like, okay, this got to stop. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Austin's never did anything. We don't have any artists that have.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there like, are you really serious? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, just myself. I could be one. There's a million of us. I mean, literally, We have hit records here. We have hit producers here. We have hit artists. We have artists that are just, I mean, huge. We have people that's been signed to labels. I was signed to labels. Hell, I was signed to Universal. I was with Carnival. I mean, I was with a bunch of different places.
Right.
So you got to understand, even as an independent company, we've had too much success in Austin to sit here and act like we haven't had this. But the problem is when they start saying, well, you know, South by Southwest ain't this and that, and we have nobody to go to get us on to do these things. And I'm like, dude, this is not the 90s. The 90s, yeah, we had to fight, literally. We were fighting everybody to get on stages and to get anything we needed because we all were out there trying to win. Now, we're there. We're here. I told my hell, Nook is right there. Go ask Nook. Nook will get you on a stage. I'm sorry. If you want to go perform, I know for a fact he'll put you on stage.
Yeah, he'll put you on several throughout the year.
You know, and then I said, hell, Casino put you on. That's why I asked you. I said, do they got to pay? And you said, hell no. They come up here and hell, we put them on stage. I'm like, okay, so now you telling me you can get on a stage. You have your social media ready to go. You're from Austin. What's the problem? I'm confused. You've got elders that are here helping you. I don't understand. And they're not just, like when we were coming up, I don't really remember except Casanova and a couple other people who really had that formula where you could say, hey, how do you do that? And they go, oh, this is how you do publishing. This is how you do. Nobody was trying to help us. I remember when hip-hop didn't even have any kind of nobody to help us at all. The clubs didn't want us down there in 6th Street. Nobody cared. South by Southwest, when it first came out, Tyranny and them was fighting their ass off to try to get things going, you know. Right. Now, you guys are really moving and shaking. What's the problem? And that's my thing. I just hated to make it seem like you or Nook or someone was like I kept hearing this word gatekeeper. There's no gatekeepers. These people are businessmen and businesswomen.
Sure.
All you gotta do is just show up, man, and they'll help you the best way they can.
Well, I think and I've never had anybody tell me directly that they felt maybe I was a gatekeeper. But I think where even some of that thought process comes from is when you've been doing something for a certain amount of time, I'm not just going to help anybody.
Hell no.
You know,
right. Help yourself.
You learn that your time is the real commodity.
Man.
Right? I've tried to help a lot of people along my way.
Yeah.
And I've learned that some of those people, I'd have been better keeping that time to myself.
That's
or
correct.
Focused on me.
That's right.
Right? And it's not even saying that they weren't worth it.
No.
We just might not have been the right combination.
At that moment in time.
Right? So I've just learned to be very exclusive with who I give certain time to.
Correct.
But, and I'll put this on your show. If you got a question, hey, how do I do this? Who would I talk to about this? What's a direction to make this happen?
Right.
Those things I'll give to anybody.
Right.
You might want to talk to this person. You might want to talk to this person.
There you go.
You might want to go to this place, read this to learn how to do this.
There you go.
Here's a link to learn how to do this.
I think we all are like that. Yeah.
Right. So where the gatekeeper part comes in is I'll give you routes to find the information you want.
That's right.
But if you want to actually come sit at my table,
man,
now I got to see if that's worth it.
That's
for
right.
us.
What are you bringing to the table? That's what I told them. It's not. Think about it like this, man, and this is for all the new artists, all the artists in Austin, and so, you know, I know this thing will be worldwide, but my thing is, my people here in Austin, a lot of the artists that are here, they may know us, seen us over the years. They like, oh, I see you guys. I know you. Oh, you guys are great. Look, man, when you walk in the door, what have you done? Do you have your stuff together? Why put you on a stage? And I say this when I was really out there. Why am I putting you on a stage? You have no units, you have no CDs, and now it's different. So now, do you have your social media popping? Do you have all the things that you need, your merch? Are you ready to go? Do you have a stage show? Like you said earlier about standing in front of that mirror and learning and getting your stage show. I don't want you on that stage and you're going to bore my audience, man. You have never been on the stage. You've done 5 shows and you think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread because your mama told you was great. That's not what we're doing. We need you to be ready to go. It's a business. Come in there with your business face on.
Straight up.
But then it's easy. It's easy from that point, because you'll see the benefit of them because you can see what they're doing. It's not a fact of them coming and trying to, hey, can you put me on? Hey, can you put me on? You be looking for them.
Right. Exactly. So I'd say the only difference for me is, like you asked, what have you done? My question is more, what are you willing to do?
There you go.
Now, not in no weird Diddy Diddler way, but
not the Diddy way.
what amount of work are you really willing to put into this?
Right.
And I've learned to be extremely blunt and upfront when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Because this ain't for everybody.
Right. No.
And
hell no.
Not only is it not for everybody, even the people that it's for, you got to know this ain't no cakewalk.
Right.
You're not going to make money right away.
No.
You're probably going to spend for the first... You know what? It's just like opening a restaurant.
There you go.
Your first, 3 to 5 years, you're in the red.
You're in the red big time.
So you really got to love it and have a dedication for it.
If music is what it is, entertainment is what it is. If you're not born in this, just loving it, I mean, it bites you. It's like you said, it's kind of like a thing. It just gets you, and then you just, man, I want this every day. I want all the heartaches. I want everything come along with it. Bring it to me. I want it. Just stab me in the heart with it. That's what music is. That's what entertainment is. And it ain't, like you said, not every day is good, and not every day is bad. But I can tell you, I've had a lot of fun in music my whole life, but I have so many tragedies and life-altering events that should have stopped, but it didn't because you have love for whatever it is, and it's just you love for the music. But man, that's something that I wanted to make sure that the people, and no slight on Diddy, because I like Biggie and Diddy. I love the East Coast, and you know what I'm saying. Those are my people too. I love all of them out there. I hope he get out of this situation. But. Other than that, man.
If he did it, I hope he don't get out.
Now, if he did it, yeah, that's different. Now, but I always, my thing is go to court, have your day, and I don't want to blame anybody for nothing until it is a fact. Once it's a fact, once it's a fact, then it's on and popping, Jack. It is what it is. I don't know. But I appreciate you, man. Let me come out here, man. I am impressed with the whole business, and man, you gotta tell them where it is and everything else, definitely.
So, for your smoking needs, feel free to visit us at Texas Smoke Connection. We're at 523 Thompson Lane, number A, Austin, Texas. Come on out. We've got all your smoking needs. You name it, we probably got it.
That's what I'm talking about.
But we also have a podcast room here. We do rent out. We have an event center. So if you got a private event or a small show or, pretty much any kind of event you want to do, we'll sit down and talk with us. We'll be more than happy to work out a price for you. Also, come visit me at the Stash Spot Studio. You could book us, book some recording time, or check out some beats from the production company, rawwiththedawg.com.
There you go.
And, man, let's see. Well, if you're in Texas, you can't really deal with my other businesses, but if you're somewhere else, holla at me.
I know that's right. And in South by, don't you have?
Oh, yeah. So, I'll be performing with the label College of Hip Hop Knowledge. Our show, we have an official show on the 16th, and that is Saturday. I've got a bunch of other events we'll be doing throughout the whole week. We're actually doing one here at the Yard on Tuesday the 12th. We're going to have a panel giving out some great information, and we're going to be doing some performances and shows. On the 14th, the event coordinator here, Two Stoned, He's going to be doing a bunch of mic drops and other interviews and stuff for artists. So if you want to come through, you can get one of those. Man, we're doing a lot of stuff, man.
Sounds good, man. And it's out here close to Montopolis. For all y'all that don't, if you're from Austin, then you know where Montopolis is.
Or if you're coming in from out of town, I'm right by the airport. I should be your first stop for any of your smoking needs.
Like you said, I have been out this way in a long time, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I passed this going to the VA. That's about as far as I go. But, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate just
Absolutely.
having you on here. And like I said, there's certain interviews that I have to get. Nook is one of them. I got to get with him and a lot of other people and like Baxter Russell and, Fatal. Got to get Fatal on here. But there's a lot of people in Austin that I'm grabbing on. You know what I mean?
Are you friends with Fatal?
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Okay,
he's family.
I'm gonna make sure I let him know. Hey, you need to do Redeaux's show.
He's family. I got him on there. We just been missing each other because he's in Atlanta, so we like jumping back and forth. He went, call me, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call you. So we gonna get together. We gonna get it done. But man, I appreciate it, man. I like I said, it's an honor. You know what I mean? It's
likewise.
I mean, I just love the fact that we all have some kind of way made it this far, and then we still out here moving and shaking, and that's
still
good,
making
man.
Things happen.
So like I said, man, for my podcast, man, I'm gonna tell y'all peace, man. Thank you again. I appreciate it.